Have you heard of Tarkov? Well, I can tell if you're here, you probably have. And if not, well, I can tell you this is not a game for a casual Warzone player. But this is easily both my favorite game and the game that I hate to play. For today's video, I will combine my two favorite things, and that's going to be guns and video games. Let's walk through some of the ways gun guys like me nerd out playing a game like this. I'll go over a few things and show you what's spot on and probably what is artistic license. Check it out. This game features a ton of real-life mods, accessories, gear, gun, magazines, ammo, scopes, suppressors? Yep. This is easily the most in-depth video game I have played, and it is freaking cool. With the latest patch to Tarkov, your ammo and magazine choices can help delay or speed up your weapon malfunctions, and there's quite a few. Your weapons can also overheat on full auto, especially prolonged strings of fire with that suppressor attached. That's pretty cool in terms of an addition, and I don't think I know of any other game that has that right now. So let me show you how close the developers of Tarkov got with a few guns. And if you like this video, maybe I can find other things to do on this subject, as I like talking about real guns and video games, and this is my jam right here. So let's start with the first one. All right, up first, Keltec RFB. Okay, so BSG has included all sorts of animations on this gun that make it look and feel like the real deal, and it sounds awesome. Even the spent casings come out of the correct spot in the front, and they just fall out of the ejection chute. The model they used in this game is the Generation 1 RFB, and just like its real counterpart, it's semi-auto only and 308. Unfortunately, in the game there are not a lot of mods for this gun, and I have not been able to find lights or lasers that I can put on the gun in the game. In real life, there are a couple ways to add more space for accessories, and I'll just mention them now. That'd be the quad rail, where I have used that in the past to add lights and lasers, and the other one would be the Lucky Irishman handguard for the RFB, which is my current go-to on the actual gun. I do kind of chuckle, however, when I look at the animations for failure to feeds, misfires, and bolt jams. Basically, all of those are solved by beating on it, which I can tell you in real life, if you get the bolt to cycle, it will kick out every round with some authority. But I can tell you also that hitting it anywhere where they're hitting the RFB anywhere where the stamped sheet metal is they're selecting going to release anything. If that's all it took, there's probably more problems inside than, well, it just wouldn't work. I'll just tell you that much. Okay, so where did they take some creative license? I love how this gun sounds unsuppressed. I've said it earlier, it sounds like, you know, the actual gun to some degree. It sounds like a big authoritative, like, you know, 30 caliber round being fired. However, it sounds like it's got a built-in hang fire, or maybe the developers think that this is an open bolt gun, and you hear a distinctive click and then a bang. All the other guns in the game, even when you're shooting showcase ammunition, go bang as soon as you pull the trigger. So I think it's kind of weird that RFB has a distinctive click and then a bang. And let's see if you can hear it here. See what I mean? I mean, if this were to happen in the actual rifle, I would think that was a hang fire, and I would be changing ammunition really quickly. All right, so the next thing, the knobs on some of the assault scopes. So the charging handle on the RFB is very short, and having the knobbies where you bolt down the assault scopes would definitely ruin your day if you tried to charge the gun with the knobs on that side. It's just, don't ask me how I know. Maybe if they added the extended charging handle, then that would probably, you know, not be a thing. That's what I did. Another minor nitpick here. The magazine insertion for the RFB is portrayed as, looks like it's a semi-rock and lock. It's actually a straight insert magazine. And I say that because the Fal magazine in a Fal is a rock and lock, and there's nothing for the magazine to catch on in the RFB towards the front. That's why it's a straight insert.
That was quick.
Before I go to the next gun, I kind of want to talk about the magazines that are available for the Fal. I mentioned, since we're talking about the RFB and the Fal, they both share the same magazines. There are steel 10, 20, and 30 round variants. In this game, there are 2 30 round denominations and 1 polymer magazine. The polymer Moses mags are well spoken of in the Fal community and are some of the best magazines available. However, they do not actually fit in the RFB. And I'm sure this is not BSG's fault, because there are other folks who don't know this either. Just look at this ad on Gunbroker. And the reason why that is there are ridges on the back of the magazine that don't allow them to be seated in the RFB. Now, in real life, if you really, really, really wanted that magazine to work in your RFB, you would take a Dremel and start grinding them off. Okay, and the second instance where they really got creative was the Bren magazine, the British Fal magazine. These look really cool, and well, if you find one out in the wild, odds are it won't go straight into your RFB or SA58. And there's a reason for that. The reason is their front magazine lip is what prevents this. Check it out, side by side. That wide feed lip section right there is too wide to go into the metric Fal lower, or and just sits out far enough to not go into the RFB. There are people who have already found and modified Bren mags, but these magazines cost somewhere in the realm of 3 to 4 times out of the standard 30 round DSA mag. The Desert Tech MDR. This is a really popular gun late in the wipe, and that's just due to its ability to use the same 308 M61 AP ammunition, and it's full auto. I mean, what's not to like there? What you might not know is this is actually an earlier model of the Desert Tech MDR. This one was only made for 2 years, from 2017 to 2019. And the current ones are called the MDR Extreme, or MDRX. Externally, they don't really look that different, and I would forgive you for saying they look the same, but there are a couple of things you can look at to let you know which kind of version of the gun you're looking at. Besides the big X on the side of the receiver, there is a cutout for the gas piston adjustment in the front of the handguard, and there is a ratchet muzzle brake that comes with the gun from the factory. Updates between the actual MDR and MDRX is stronger polymer gas. They've updated the gas piston, different. They've cleaned up the trigger a little bit, and the bolt is different in the MDRX. So basically, it's a Generation 2 MDR. I love the fact that you can single load this gun in an emergency in the game just by taking off the dust cover. Weapon malfunctions can also require removal of the same dust cover. Failure to feed and eject require the side panel to be taken off. From personal experience shooting the gun, it's not super hard to cause either one of those issues, a failure to feed or failure to eject, if the bolt is short-stroked or it just doesn't have enough energy to cycle the bolt to the rear. Looking at the animation for how they get rid of some of these, I don't know if I would take the side ejection panel and smack it against my gun's receiver, but that's me. Where's the creative license? So, in the game, both their 5.56 and 308 guns are full auto capable. In real life, 99.9% arbitrarily made up number right there. You're going to find out in the world are going to be semi-automatic. If you do a quick YouTube search, you'll find that primarily it's only Desert Tech who has videos of their full auto variant. Bullpups are rare, but full auto MDRs are almost non-existent. I am going to say that it is kind of sad you can't just convert the 5.56 MDR to 308 just by removing the magwell adapter and changing the bolt and barrel, but that's just me. One of the things I want to mention that's kind of creative license is the polymer handguards. While they do allow for a lot of stuff to be mounted to the handguard and in-game and in real life, you would not want to mount a laser or a front sight to that handguard. In real life, that handguard can be bumped or pulled out of alignment, causing your irons to be off as much as 2 feet at 25 meters. And that's just because while it is free-floated, the way that it is held in, or maybe it's just the way that the polymer gives just enough that it actually moves left or right. That's solved largely in other handguards that are made out of aluminum, and I would love to see more additions to this rifle. As I mentioned earlier, there are 3 other handguards on the market and some alternate barrel lengths, in addition to some extra calibers, and they all look cool. Last one I'm doing in this video is the SA58. Oh man, I love the look of this gun. Basically, in any configuration, the Fal is just a sexy looking gun. And in most of the games that I play, it's also a good gun. It's one of the most recognizable guns compared to the other 2 that I have in this video. And it comes in my favorite caliber, 308. Capable of firing in semi-automatic and fully automatic, while also coming in barrel lengths of 21, 16, and the OSW 11-inch. In Tarkov, BSG seems to like using the Fal based off the SA58 paratrooper lower. It's an aluminum lower. And there are a lot of options for this rifle that mostly match it in its real-life counterpart, including full auto recoil, which is said to be a bit excessive, and it looks like it in the game. So I rarely turn it on to the fun switch. I'm fascinated by the amount of handguards and stocks and pistol grip options. Like they nailed this rifle spot on. Unfortunately, though, I think 2 of the handguards aren't made anymore. One of them I can't find, and one of them's on a really long wait list, so it really might not be made anymore. The Veltor handguard is the only one of the 4 on here, 4 or 5, that's free floated. But it's the only one that's like $300. Now, my personal favorite thing to do with this rifle is to run around with a shorter one, like an OSW, and a longer one for longer distance snipey stuff. Tricked out with all the fun stuff, at least for longer distance. So I'm not sure this is creative license. It's more like, I think the BSG devs did not know that there were two types of lowers for the Fal, and subsequently different bolts and stocks that work with one or the other, but not both. Some of the butt stocks that are designed for the standard lower Fal will not work on a paratrooper lower, and vice versa. On the paratrooper variant, the primary difference starts with the inside of the receiver. The bolt and recoil spring mechanism remain inside the upper receiver, and that allows it to put on stocks that can be modified to fold, or even an AR buffer, so you can put whatever AR stock that you like. In the standard Fals, the bolt carrier has a tail that presses into a fixed recoil spring mechanism that's inside of the stock instead of the receiver. I'll show you that. That's normally the metal part that sticks out of the back of the bolt carrier on the standard Fal is called a rat tail, and here's an example. Alright, so why does it matter? It doesn't. I know this is a game and love what realism there is in this game, but if you try to do this with your own Fal, you'll find it won't work. The basic stock and the Magpul stock really won't work with a para or OSW model lower, unless you switch to a standard lower receiver and bolt carrier group. But you know, if you've gone to the process of getting a para lower or an OSW, I don't think you want to be running the Magpul PRS stock. I think you want to be running the stuff that can fold. Or if you really like AR butt stocks, you can throw one of those on there. One minor nitpick here, as the SA-58 is listed as an assault rifle. That is incorrect, as the FAL series of rifles is a battle rifle, and the distinction is for a battle rifle is it fires a full power rifle cartridge. Assault rifles fire a smaller, less powerful, or intermediate cartridge, i.e. that is in between that of a pistol round and a full power rifle round. So to kind of give you the difference between 30 caliber rounds, all three of them I'm going to talk about are 30 caliber rounds in the same bullet weight of 125 grains. So 9mm can get up to 498 foot-pounds of energy. 300 blackout, which is an intermediate round, can get up to 1,300 foot-pounds of energy. That's supersonic. And of course, 308, a full power rifle round, again 125 grain, can get up to about 2,600 foot-pounds of energy. So that's literally double that of the 300 blackout. One of the other things I noticed was when I was single loading the Fal without a magazine, which is a fantastic animation. The fact that you can even do that in this game is just awesome. It's great. Except for you magically activate the bolt hole open when there's no magazine in the gun. On other guns in this game, like the P90, when you single load it, you can actually see where the person hand will grab and hold the bolt to the rear and then load the round and let the bolt go forward. On the Fal, if you're not doing that, it's kind of a three-handed affair. Try and get the bolt to lock to the rear while pushing up on the bolt release. And yeah, it's just kind of a thing that I thought was cool, but also the way it was displayed, that's not how you would do it. All right, well, this has been a fun video, and I had fun putting it together. I know it's been a while since I put a video out, and this has just been something I've been doing for the last, I don't know, 6 months, and I figured I would try and bridge some of the viewers today between video games and real firearms. And so yeah, this has been a fun video to put together, and depending on what responses I get, I guess I could try and do others. I did this one mostly for fun, and I'll be back with another gun-related video shortly. And I've got a couple of videos I can probably do. I should probably do a video on that Walther muzzle device, and I've got a couple other things I'll probably just bring in into the channel just because I don't see videos on them. So I just wanted to take this time to also thank Cloud Ryze. He provided the weapon malfunction videos for Tarkov, and if you get a chance and you like Tarkov and you haven't seen his weapon malfunction videos, go ahead and go over there and subscribe to him. I think he's gotten about a dozen of them so far, and yeah, go check him out.